After her husband passed, Evelyn moved into her son Mark's home. The room they gave her wasn't large, but she made it her own, a cozy sanctuary filled with photos, books, and trinkets, each a thread in the rich tapestry of her life. It was a space where her memories lived and breathed alongside her. One afternoon, she returned from a walk to a scene that stopped her heart. Mark and his wife, Sarah, were packing her things into boxes. Her wedding photo, her favorite novels, the porcelain bird her husband had given her, all being sealed away. They explained, with strained smiles, that Sarah's parents were coming to visit. It was just for a few nights, they insisted. She would have to sleep on the living room couch. Just temporarily. Evelyn watched in silence as her sanctuary was dismantled. The room was quickly transformed, stripped of her presence and remade for the comfort of others. Her cherished belongings were stacked in the garage, out of sight, out of mind. That first night on the cramped couch was sleepless. The cushions were too soft, the blanket too thin, and the familiar sounds of the house felt alien from this new, exposed position. She felt like a ghost, a temporary inconvenience in the life she had helped build. The nights stretched into a week. Each morning, she'd neatly fold her blanket, trying to erase any sign of her presence before Mark and Sarah woke up. One evening, she overheard them talking in the kitchen, their voices low but clear. "It's actually so much more convenient having this room free," Sarah said. Mark agreed, "Yeah, we have a proper guest room now. It just makes more sense." Their words weren't meant to be cruel, but they landed like stones. Convenient. That's what she had become. A problem solved by a couch and some cardboard boxes. The realization settled in her heart, cold and heavy. She wasn't their mother or mother-in-law anymore, she was a logistical issue. Her identity, her history, had been reduced to a matter of square footage. The next morning, before the sun had even hinted at its arrival, Evelyn made a decision. There were no tears, no dramatic confrontation. Just a quiet, steely resolve. She found an old suitcase in the garage, tucked behind the boxes that held her life. Carefully, she packed only the most precious items, a handful of photos, her husband's watch, her mother's locket, and the worn book of poetry he used to read to her. She moved with a silent grace, a lifetime of dignity condensed into these final, deliberate actions. On the polished dining room table, she left a simple note. It didn't contain accusations or anger. It just said, "I have gone to find my own space. Don't worry about me. Love, Mom." Then, with her small suitcase in hand, she opened the front door and stepped out into the quiet dawn, not looking back. A few days later, Evelyn sat in a lawyer's office, the air smelling of old paper and fresh coffee. With a hand that was surprisingly steady, she signed a series of documents. The pen moved across the page, each stroke a declaration of her independence. She was not just a widow, not just a mother, not just a temporary guest. She was Evelyn. The following weeks were a blur of purposeful activity. We see her unlocking the door to a small, sunlit apartment. It's modest, but it's hers. She unpacks her precious few belongings, placing them with care. She reconnects with old friends over coffee, their laughter filling the air, a sound she hadn't realized she'd missed so dearly. She joins a book club, a gardening group. Slowly, piece by piece, she rebuilds not just a home, but a life. A life on her own terms. The final scene is simple but powerful. Evelyn is sitting by her window, the afternoon sun warming her face. She opens her new wallet and pulls out a freshly printed ID card. She looks at it, a slow, genuine smile spreading across her face. The name printed there is not the one she took in marriage all those decades ago. It's her maiden name. Her original name. In reclaiming her space, she had reclaimed herself. She was not an afterthought, not an inconvenience. She was Evelyn, whole and complete, finally home. Thank you for watching this story. If you or someone you know is struggling with feeling isolated or undervalued, please remember that support is available. Reaching out to friends, community groups, or mental health professionals can make a world of difference. Your story matters. Please like and subscribe for more content that inspires and empowers.